Welcome to Pals for Life, where we grow together in God's Word and learn to walk in His light. Today's Bible quiz takes us into the Book of Ecclesiastes, one of the most honest and thought-provoking books in the Bible. Ecclesiastes wrestles with questions many of us quietly ask. What is the meaning of life? Why do success, wealth, and pleasure sometimes leave us feeling empty? Through the reflections of the teacher, this book reminds us that chasing the things of this world alone will never truly satisfy. Everything under the sun eventually fades, but a life centered on God carries eternal meaning. Whether you're here to test your knowledge or pause and reflect on life's deeper purpose, this quiz invites you to slow down and consider what truly matters. Take a deep breath and let's step into the book of Ecclesiastes together. Verse by verse, fill in the missing words. You're halfway through, and Ecclesiastes reminds us of truth that can feel uncomfortable but freeing at the same time. Chasing success, pleasure, or recognition alone will never satisfy the soul. The teacher tried it all: wisdom, wealth, achievement, and still found it empty when God wasn't at the center. But this book doesn't leave us in despair. Instead, it gently redirects our focus. Life becomes meaningful when we live with reverence for God and gratitude for the simple gifts He gives. So as you continue, let this quiz do more than test what you remember. Let it remind you to slow down and consider what truly matters. Define the word on screen. Pause to take a moment with each if needed. Solomon says in Ecclesiastes 1 verse 18, "For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief." We have access today to more news and information on every single thing you can think of. With the swipe of a finger or click of a button, we can learn about practically anything. But not everything we see is something we may want to see. Sometimes too much knowledge can bring on feelings of anxiousness, worry, heartache, and even hopelessness that can feel like too much to take. Being aware and being overwhelmed are very different things. Can you spot any sources of information in your life that cause you to lay down the peace that God leaves you with? God provides our needs and even blesses us with some wants. He gives us friendships and relationships throughout our lives. So we are not alone here on earth, and all of these things are to be enjoyed. Where we tend to get caught up is when we start looking to these things to fulfill us and give us meaning in a way that God never intended. We take our focus off of Him and put it on people and stuff. In what areas of your life are you giving more attention to the blessing and not the one who blessed you? Solomon points out the cycle of the human life, the times and the seasons, the laboring, and that whatever has already been and what will be has been before. 3:15. The truth is that life can seem monotonous at times. No matter what we work for, when we finally achieve it, there is still something missing. We tick off all the boxes for a success family life, and deep inside there is still a space that is longing for something. That's not to say we don't feel joy, but that there is an empty place waiting to be filled. That space is longing for eternity with our Creator. Think of a time when you thought, if I just get this, I'll finally be happy. Did that feeling have longevity? Why would God not have us be completely fulfilled here on earth? Ecclesiastes 5 verse 4. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to fulfill it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. Example. In times of desperation, most of us cry out to God with a vow to start or stop something in exchange for God's mercy in our lives. In the moment, the intention is true, but most often gets pushed aside once relief is present, revealing just how selfish our hearts are despite how good we think we're going to be. How do you feel when someone goes back on their word to you? How do you make God feel when you do this to Him? How do you prevent this from happening? In Ecclesiastes 7 verses 2-4, Solomon advises, "It is better to go to a house of mourning than to go to a house of feasting. And frustration is better than laughter, because a sad face is good for the heart." This sounds like a backwards concept. Who wants to be frustrated? Who looks at going to a funeral as a good thing? But think about this. Are you more aware of how precious the gift of life is at a party or a funeral? Which of those lead to checking your heart and path? Are you more apt to reach out for connection with God when it's smooth sailing or when the storm is present? Thank you for walking through the book of Ecclesiastes with me today. This book reminds us that life can feel confusing and even empty when we chase meaning in things that cannot last. Success fades, wealth disappears, achievements pass away. But Ecclesiastes points us back to something steady, a life lived with reverence for God. In the end, meaning isn't found in what we gather, but in who we honor. Whether you knew every answer or learned something new today, I hope this quiz helped you pause and reflect on what truly matters in your life. If this encouraged you, share it with someone who may also be searching for deeper purpose. And as always, remember to be the light, pals for life.